Ayon! Hello po mga kaibigan! Hi, good evening. This is Demi Bernice. Of course, this is your Ask Me Anything session. Can you hear me clearly? Please let me know in the comment section so I would know exactly if you can hear me. I'm using, again, this microphone, and although we did not really have problems back in the day, I'm just making sure that you can hear me properly. Let me know in the comment section. Alrighty, so tonight is a different night. Usually, if you're new here on the Facebook page, hello. If you're new here, we usually do live trainings every Monday, 7 p.m. Same day, same time, but usually I talk about a very certain topic about freelancing, and I answer questions at the end of the teaching session. And now we're doing it a little different because I wanted to make sure that all your questions are being answered. We're receiving a lot of queries, questions, Facebook page messages, emails, and good thing I have my super amazing customer happiness lead, which is Shem, answering all your questions and clarifications, but to make sure also that I'm connecting with you and I know exactly what you're going through and I know exactly how you're feeling or what questions you have in mind. Of course, I also have the responsibility to go live and answer your questions. So we're going to do that today, and I am ecstatic to have you with me tonight. So if you already have your very own questions and clarifications, you may already start typing them in the comment section so I can answer them, okay? All right, so without further ado, let me introduce myself first. So I am Demi Bernice, as if mag-need ng introduction. So my name is Demi Bernice and I am 24. I just turned 24 last December. I am from Cebu City. I am a freelance sales funnel designer. So before I became a sales funnel designer, I'll explain later what a sales funnel designer is. Before I became a sales funnel designer, I was a graphic designer. So I used to create book covers. I used to do social media images. I used to create like tons of anything digital art for my clients. Excuse me. And then later on, I decided to become a sales funnel designer because most of my clients are online entrepreneurs, and when you are an online marketer or an online entrepreneur, you usually need sales funnels. So what are sales funnels? To cut the long story short, sales funnels are basically pages that orient you to a product and then nurture you to come up with a buying decision. Okay, so what you see on the internet, a lot of them are mostly websites, right? So sales funnel is very specific and very niched. It looks like a website, exactly the same as a website, except it does not have a lot of buttons, and its main purpose and objective is to really sell you a product or nurture you to a buying decision. So there's that. And I designed those things. So I kind of am always conceived by a lot of people as a website designer. I used to be a website designer too, but now I specifically design sales funnels, right? So I make sales funnels that nurture people to a buying decision, make it look fancy and nice, right? So those are the thing. That's the thing that I do. All right. So after that, what else? What else can I say about myself? So I became a sales funnel designer. I had a lot of success with it. I'm earning a lot of money from it. And then later on, I kind of was thinking that maybe every Filipino should actually know what freelancing can endow them. Like, if you're Filipino, a lot of Filipinos out there are very much overwhelmed with their work, very much overwhelmed with their jobs, and are in a business or in a job or a workplace that they do not really love. So I thought maybe if I tell them my story, if I tell them exactly where I came from or how I've been or the process of who I am today, it would be really nice that they can experience it too. So that's why now you can see this live video. I'm teaching you how to do exactly the same thing that I'm doing. So hello. Oh my God, Jesus. We have 125 people. Hello. Super happy that you're here with us. Okay. So I have here a initially jotted down questions. So before I dive into your comments, I have here the most common questions that Shem, my customer happiness lead, always answers, and we also have always been receiving these types of questions. So I'm going to answer that first. And then after that, we're going to dive into the questions that you are typing right now in the comment section. Sounds fair? Okay, good. All right. So I told you already about my introduction, about my story. And okay, so one very, very frequent question that we always get is how much exactly I am earning. So if you do not know yet, so I'm earning an average of 100K a month, right? So sometimes it's 150, sometimes it's 130, sometimes it's below 100, depending on how much work I am willing to take on that month. So sometimes I feel very inspired and motivated that I that I accept a lot of projects in a month. Sometimes also I don't feel motivated at all because it's always like up and down, right? Gulong ng palad style ba? Like sometimes you're very motivated, sometimes you're not. So there are some months where I don't really feel like doing a lot of work. So that's why I don't really receive more than 100K. Sometimes it's below, but whatever that is, right? So on average, I earn 100K every month. When I'm super inspired, the highest that I've ever reached, I think, was 180K a month. That was the highest that I've ever reached on becoming a freelancer. So again, what I do is just doing sales funnels. So I have an obsession with art. I absolutely love art. So that's why anything that has something to do with digital art and, graphic design, I geek out on it. So that's why there's that. So that's one of the most common questions is really how much I'm earning. So there's that. So an average of 100K a month. All right. So another common question is, what is freelancing? So we have a lot of people asking us, like, what is freelancing? And when people say the word freelancing, a lot of people always say that it's a work from home opportunity. So all you have to do is have a laptop, internet connection, and you can work from home. Sure, that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but there's a lot of difference between freelancing and working from home. So if you probably have already heard about other people talking about freelancing, sometimes they don't really understand what freelancing is. But I'm here to tell you that when you are a freelancer, you go out there as a self-employed person. Okay, so you're not in any way tied to a company. You can work your very own hours. You're not tied into a certain work hours in a day. You also are the person who's going to, what do you call this? You're the person who's going to ask for your rate. Okay, so your clients are going to ask you how much your rate is. It's not your client who's going to tell you this is how much you should charge. Okay, so you have the control basically in a lot of things like pricing and what services do you want to offer, what time of the day you're going to work, so things of that sort. You have that control when you are a freelancer. When you are a home-based job employee, usually you have specific working hours in a day. Sometimes they even ask you to work on a graveyard shift, or sometimes you also don't earn that much because you are what do you call this? There's already a price tag on your job. Like your employer is going to say like, this is only what I'm very willing to pay you, and you can't do anything about it. Like, you can't even negotiate. But with freelancing, you can negotiate your rates. You can say that this is what I charge, take it or leave it. If you're not going to accept that and you don't have a budget for that specific project, I'm not going to work with you. So with freelancing, you are actually a business owner. So a lot of people are going to say like, hey, freelancers are service providers. Sure, but you have the control of how much you're going to charge, how much hours you're going to work in a day, and things like that. So you have the control of a lot of things when you are a freelancer. And oftentimes you can even like go on vacations without telling your client that you're going on a vacation. So that's what I did. If you noticed my Facebook page feed, I went to Siargao last week for the entire week and not having to work. Like, I can just say like, I'm not accepting any projects this week. I'm just going to go on a vacation and I'm not going to work. So I can say that exactly without having to depend on a client's yes or no, right? So that's how different it is. That's how different freelancing is from working from home. So you see now the difference, right? So again, there are set hours on working from home or home-based jobs. And then when you are a freelancer, you actually have the ample amount of time to really work on a project. You're the person who's going to think about how much you're going to charge. You're the person who's going to think about how many hours you're going to render for a day, things of that sort. So that's the difference between freelancing and working from home. So if you are currently working from home right now, you can definitely tell if you are a freelancer or if you are a home-based job worker. So usually if you're home-based, you have a boss, and then you gotta have to log in and log out, right? So that's mostly the difference. Okay. All right. So another very common question that we have is, what skills do I need to have to become a freelancer? Diba? Most common question. What skill do I need to have to become a freelancer? So in freelancing, any type of skill that is digital, you can offer as a service. So again, when you are a freelancer, you are in control of everything. You don't need to be a creative. If you're not really a creative, you don't need to just do, just like a lot of people are asking me like, hey, you're doing graphic design. Do I need to be a graphic designer too to earn a lot of money in freelancing? Of course not. There are a lot of skills. Even if you are not a creative person, even if you don't know how to draw, even if you're not good in English, there are a lot of skills that you can offer as a service when you are a freelancer. And the thing is, whatever you're comfortable with of offering, you can do that, or you can offer that as a service. Okay. All right. So aside from that, people are also asking like, hey, what if I don't have any digital skill? Like, what am I going to do? So it's very easy. All you have to do is acquire one. Okay. And that specific skill should be something that you enjoy learning. Right? So you can't just say, oh my God, Demi's a graphic designer or a sales funnel designer. Maybe I should become a sales funnel designer too so I can earn a lot of money. It's not like that. So you have to make sure that the skill that you're going to learn, or the skill that you're going to acquire, or the skill that you're going to offer as a service, for that matter, should be something that you completely enjoy. Okay, completely enjoy it. You completely love learning more about it, because it's very important that you enjoy what you do. Okay, you enjoy what you do because it's all about creating the life that you love. Okay, it's not about earning money. I mean, it's going to be that for a very short amount of time, but when you start earning the money that you want to have, you're going to start asking yourself, what now? Right? So it will be very, very inevitable that if you're going to start freelancing, you're going to earn a lot of money. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It's possible. Like I can't even stress that enough. It's really going to happen. But the question is, how long are you going to stay there? How long are you going to do freelancing? And if you cannot see yourself doing that specific skill or offering that specific skill as a service for more than 5 years or for 3 years or more, you're not really going to last. So that is why I encourage a lot of people to not really completely find your passion and all the kind of things. Like, just have one skill that you enjoy doing or you enjoy learning, and that's about it. Like, you don't really need to be super like amazing at it, right? So just acquire one skill that you completely enjoy if you do not have a skill, and then move forward from there. Okay? All right. So if you're new here, if you just jumped in with us, I already answered how much I am earning and what is freelancing. All right. So what skills do I need to have? I also answered that. So another very common question is, how can I start freelancing? Okay. So this question has a very long answer because starting freelancing is not just a push button kind of thing. So people think, oh my god, how can I start freelancing? Not like other things, like not like other, what do you call that? Not like other work from home opportunities. Like, hey, you just gotta pass your resume and then you're gonna get accepted and you're gonna have to work. So that's how you start other home-based or work from home jobs, right? But with freelancing, it's actually a process. So it's not a push button kind of thing. Like, you can't just say, how can I start freelancing? Like, it's not going to be like that. Like, it's a process to even start, right? And the very first thing that you have to do is, of course, what I told you before, or before this, is you have to know what skill you're going to offer, right? So you have to know what skill you're going to offer. And if you already have that skill, then good for you. All you have to do is develop that. But if you don't have this skill yet, acquire a skill that you enjoy learning. And mind you, you don't even need to be super amazing at it to really offer it as a service or to get a client. Like, a lot of my mentees, they're newbies. Like, they literally are people who came from 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 employment jobs, like work from 8 a.m., log out at 4 p.m., from like having to go to the office, like complete cold turkey transition to freelancing. And they did not have experience in things like that, but they were able to do it at a very short span of time. Some people were able to do freelance in a month. Some people were able to transition at 2 weeks. So it really depends on the person, right? But what I'm saying is that you don't need to be super amazing at one thing before you can offer that as a service, right? So all you need to do is just know the basics. So if you want to be a graphic designer, then what is the basics of graphic design? Probably like just knowing what colors match, just knowing what fonts go together, right? So those are like very basic things, and that does not mean that you cannot offer that as a service, right? You know the basics. Oh, I only know the basics of video editing, and then you're good to go then. Like, you don't really need to be super amazing at it at first, because then becoming good at it has to incorporate with experience, right? You're going to be good along the way. It's not going to be a snap of a finger, like, I'm gonna have to wait until I'm super good at video editing and graphic design before I can get clients. Like, that's not the thing. You just have to know the basics of that one skill, and you're good to go. Like, you can already do freelance, or you can already start freelancing with just knowing the basics. Now, the problem with that is, of course, you have to know how to market that skill. So what I teach here in the Facebook page, or even in the academy, is we do not really rely on freelancing sites. So people are going to ask later on, like, what freelancing sites are you recommending, or where should I sign up for? What site should I sign up for if I really want to be a freelancer? So what I teach is, you don't need to sign up to anything. Okay? So one of the best platforms where you can get your clients Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. Like, those are the best platforms, or even Instagram. I cannot believe my mentees are using Instagram to get clients. Like, it's insane to me. I haven't had a client from Instagram. Like, I've always had clients from Facebook groups and from LinkedIn groups, but I've never had a client that came from Instagram. And then here comes one of my mentees getting a logo design for $150. And that client actually came from Instagram, and she was just using hashtags. What? Like, I did not know that was actually possible, right? So I did not use Instagram back in the day, but they were able to do it by themselves, just by applying the principles that I teach inside the academy. So that's insane. All right, so there's that. Yeah. So let me see if I still have questions here. Kakaloka tong face ID ni Ante. Diyos ko, Lord. Yung mga, I'm a little techie, no? But sometimes technology really frustrates the hell out of me. Like, why do you need a face ID? Why can't you just type your password? All right. Anyway, so another very common question is, can I freelance with my mobile phone? Guess what the answer is? Guess what the answer is? People are saying, like, oh my God, you need to have a laptop or things like that. But do you know that 90% of all the apps and websites that you see actually have mobile applications? 90%. That's a really big percentage. So if you're going to want, like, it's not really comfortable. Like, I'll be honest with you, if you want to do freelance on your mobile phone, it's not very comfortable. Like, the screen is very small, and you have to, like, move everything from the side just to see the entire thing or the entire website. But I can tell you it's actually possible. So there are a lot of apps you can download from the App Store or Google Play Store, and then you can do your work from there. But again, like what I said, it's not very comfortable, but it's definitely possible. Like, a lot of people edit videos on their cell phone. Just ko, para lang may maipost sa Instagram tsaka sa Facebook. My God. And then they're not monetizing it. So think about that for a second. There are a lot of things that you can do with your mobile phone that you are already doing just so you could get a lot of engagements and likes and things like that on your very own personal social media accounts, but you're not monetizing it. Medyo may problema tayo dyan. Okay, all right. So those are the questions that I have written here, right? So those are the questions that I have written here. And now I'm going to go to my Facebook page to see all your comments. Ayaw. Oh my God. Diyos ko, ang dami nyo today. My Tagalog is very hard, no? Very gahe. Gahe. Very matigas, Diyos ko. Yes, it's very matigas because I am Bisaya. Born and raised. So I was raised in Davao City and I grew up here in Cebu. So there's that. Okie dokie. So we have here, yun na. Okay, so here, tididing. Oh my God, why do I only see very small amount of the comments? Sandali lang, ha? Wait lang, my friends. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Aroy, Diyos ko. Okie dokes. Sandali lang po. Okay, yon, nakita ko na lahat. Okay. Here, so we have here a lot of questions already. I'm not going to say hi to everyone na lang, ha, because I've already done that before, and it's you are like 193 of you, so I'm gonna say hi to everyone in general. Hello. Okay, all right. So there, I already answered the skills thing. Okay, so we have a question here from Cynthia Carizal. Paano po mag-enroll? I can't answer you right now because the answer to that is a link. So if you want to enroll, please message us lang on the Facebook page or the email us, and then Shem will get you sorted out. Okay? All right, so there's that. Yes, I already answered things about the skills. Okay, so how to start. Ta-da-ding. What are the fields for freelancing? Fields? I think it's not. It's not called fields, but freelancing is a field in itself. But I think you're talking about niches or the skills. So there are a lot. Just go, Lord. Oh my God. So again, you can do any type of freelance work if you have any type of digital skill that you want to offer. And it depends on what you're very much comfortable of in offering. So if you're not very comfortable about your graphic design skills because you feel like you're not a creative person, but you really like to write. Okay, so let's say you're not a very creative person, but you really like to write. So that's completely fine. You can definitely write blog posts for other people or write product descriptions for e-commerce sellers. So remember, meron tayo mga Lazada, Shopify, and things like that. And Shopee, alright? So meron tayo mga sellers na ganyan here in the Philippines, and we also have people that are like that in abroad. And usually these e-commerce sellers, they don't write the product descriptions anymore. So they usually need people who can write product descriptions. So if you think you're really good in you're really good in writing, you can do that. You can use that as a service. Like you could be a product description writer, right? So there are a lot of things. There are endless possibilities. You have to do, of course, the research or things like that. Ayun na naman tayo sa aking camera. Okay. Just go Lord. Okay, lipat muna tayo ng camera, guys. Okay, so aside from that, how does this work? I already mentioned that. How to start? I already said that. Finisha said, sure. Paano po ba? Yon. So, what will be the best niche for a freelancing career? Isa is asking. So, good news, there isn't anything that's best. Okay, so you have to choose a skill that works best for you. It's not about a comparison about like, oh my God, like the best skill really is graphic design, or the best skill really is, what do you call that? Website design or things like that. Like you should be choosing something that works best for you. Okay, all right. So there's that, and yep, there's that. I don't know how freelancing work. I already mentioned that. Okay, so Lizelle is asking here, I'm kind of struggling with my bamboo straws business, like online marketing. This one is a little vague. I'm gonna have to need more details for this. But a little suggestion, if you are having a bamboo straws business, connect with cafes. So the easiest way for you to do this is, or really like skyrocket your business to the moon, is connect with people who already has an audience. So for example, you can approach local cafes, and contact them if they're interested to buy your bamboo straws, and they can sell it for you. Right? So that's just one idea. You don't really need to do online marketing for bamboo straws. Okay? So, I mean, you can do Lazada and Shopee. Yeah, sure. But like, if you really want to do extra money, you could reach out to like cafes and have them like buy your own bamboo straws, and they're going to be able to sell it for you. Okay? Alrighty. Where do you usually get clients? Asked by Jessica Nadong Ramona Jessica. Taas ng pangalan ni Ati. Yes. Where do I usually get clients? I usually get my clients from Facebook groups. So if you're going to ask me this question, it actually varies for everyone. So where do you usually get clients? Or where should we usually get clients? It would vary as to where your audience hangs out. So first, of course, apart from identifying your skill, you have to know exactly who you want to serve. Okay, is it going to be Filipinos? Is it going to be Australian? Is it going to be Australian authors? Like, the more specific you can be, with who you want to serve, the easier it is to find them. So why am I saying this? Hirap talaga ako mag-Tagalog, Diyos ko Lord. Can you really find a puppy that you don't even know what the color is? Right? So you cannot find a missing person or a missing puppy if you do not know where or what that puppy looks like. So you have to firstly identify who you want to serve, what they look like, are they a male or female, how old they are, and things like that, before you can find which platform they are hanging out. Because if you're going to ask me, where do I find my clients? Of course, I find them on Facebook groups, because their usual marketing strategy is Facebook ads. So I know very well that a lot of my clients are on Facebook. But for other people, for example, you want to target influencers. Okay. So where do usually influencers hang out? They usually are in Instagram. So you gotta find your clients on Instagram. Another example, if you want to target people who are YouTubers, of course they're not gonna be on Facebook because they're not called YouTubers for no reason, right? So usually they are on YouTube. You want to target photographers. Usually they are on Pinterest or Instagram, right? So these things are very easy, and I really think that you can figure it out on your own. Like, you don't even need a course for this. Like, this is very basic. Where does your ideal client avatar hang out? Or who is that person that you want to serve, and what social media platform they are using, right? So there's that. Does a freelancer specifically need to create accounts such as Upwork, Online Jobs, PH, etc.? So with this one, I already answered that briefly earlier, and I said that you don't really need to rely on these platforms because, firstly, they control your business. So you are not a freelancer if you cannot control your pricing, if you cannot control what services do you want to offer, right? So you have to be able to decide that for yourself, and you don't need a platform telling you that this is how much you should charge. And usually in these freelancing sites, they are a race to the bottom. Clients go on these freelancing sites because they want to see who can do the job that they need to be done the fastest and the cheapest way possible. So you don't even have a choice. If you're not cheap enough, if you're not fast enough, they're not going to get you, right? So you have to like lowball yourself to the point that you're only offering 50 cents per hour para lang you have a client. So that doesn't make any sense, right? Okay. Can't find clients online. How do you do this? I already answered that. Okay. All right. Okay. So usually the questions, no, I already answered earlier. So I already answered, like, do I need a PC? Do I need a mobile phone or things like that? All right. What PC specs is required to start freelancing? This one, it really depends on the skill that you want to offer. So whatever skill you want to offer, if you are only doing, like, for example, general admin virtual assistants, you don't really need a really heavy duty laptop, right? So you only need a laptop that can do Gmail, do things like basic things, right? But if you are doing graphic design and video editing, it's gonna be hard for you to freelance if you have a very low quality laptop. So if you're doing anything heavy like graphic design or video editing, your specs should be more than 4 GB RAM. Okay, RAM, random access memory, it has to be 4 gigabytes above. Okay, if you're doing graphic design and video editing. But if you're not doing that, don't worry. You actually just need a very basic laptop. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so I already answered freelancing and things like that. Trisha is asking, since we are considered as the self-employed, how can we register ourselves in BIR? So this one is very easy. You just have to make sure, first and foremost, of course, that your TIN or tax identification number is self-employed. So with my case, I was a teacher back in the day, right? So my TIN is what? Employed. It's qualified, or its type of TIN is employed. So I had to go to, of course, BIR to change the TIN from employed to self-employed. You don't need a new TIN number. You don't need a new tax identification number, huh? If you're going to go from employed to self-employed, you only need one TIN all throughout. You don't need two. Okay? Just putting it out there, because you can actually get sued if you have two TINs. So be very careful with that. If you already have a TIN, if you were employed back in the day, just go to BIR, have it changed to a self-employed, and then you can start paying your taxes. There are still a lot of things that you need to do, such as like going to your very own city hall to get, I forgot what the name was. I think it's an receipt something. You need to get that, and then you can start filing your taxes. Okay? It's very easy, actually, if you're a freelancer. It's not as difficult as how mine is right now. So mine is I have to go to DTI and get business permit and a lot of things, because I am a business already. But if you are just a self-employed freelancer, it's very easy to do. Okay? All right. So I'm not really an expert in that. By the way, you have to, of course, clarify with an accountant or a bookkeeper or even a lawyer that you know. No, you don't need to pay them, of course. You just need to ask them the basics or research, of course. Right. Myrel is asking. Okay, so I already answered the freelancing question. Churva Chebenes. Churbike Chebenes. Okay. Tibetan. Okay, so while I am searching for your questions, continue typing lang, huh? Right. Okay, I already answered how to start. Most of the questions is really how to start. I already answered that. Okay. And also, by the way, guys, tomorrow, be updated on the Facebook page. I'll be posting the FAQ page of Create and Rise Academy. So a lot of your questions will be answered easily now, because we have a page where all the most commonly asked questions are in one page now that you can just like read and answer. Jenny is asking, how much does it cost to enroll in your academy? So for new subscribers, we have a 7-day discounted or limited time offer. So we call that a special offer, right? So if you are a new subscriber in my email list, or if you've seen my ad and you downloaded the Rise to a Million Master Course training and you also read the PDF, then you got yourself a chance to enroll anytime, or not anytime, but within 7 days to Create and Rise Academy. So you are given 7 days to enroll, right? And if you miss that 7 days, then you have to wait for the nationwide enrollment, which will be on April 1 to 4. So in this special offer, we offer it as 4K. And on April 4, we're going to raise it to 5K. So the special offer is only open for people who have viewed the training, right? So if you have viewed the Rise to a Million Master Course, then usually you're going to have access. Check your emails, people, because there are a lot of goodies that is being sent to your email usually. All right, so I just want to ask regarding the payments po. Pwede po ba hindi through PayPal and debit account? For example, the client will pay through Western Union. The client? Oh, so this one is a little tricky because it depends on a lot of factors. So there are clients they don't really want to go to Western Union. This is a little hassle on their end, right? So you have to make sure that it's going to be easy for your client, not only for yourself, because our objective here as freelancers is we really are helping them. And if you're only thinking about our own welfare, then that's not really, your working relationship with your client is not really going to work out. So make sure that when you're choosing your payment gateway, you have to make sure that it's doable for your client, where your client is not going to be hassled, and you also need to make sure that it's convenient for you as well, right? So dapat fair in terms of the payment gateway. So the easiest way as of really this moment is PayPal and Payoneer. So those are the only two payment option, not really two, but there are also TransferWise, Remitly, and things like that. So there are actually a lot. There are a lot of payment gateways that you can use. So you can do TransferWise, Payoneer, Remitly, Transfast. But again, Transfast, they have to go to a Transfast option. There are also people being paid on Zoom as in XOOM. So Zoom is a PayPal company also. So there are a lot of things, right? Just make sure that you don't need your client to go to somewhere pa before they can pay you, right? Because that's not really nice. That's not it's hassle for your client's end, right? Okay, sandali lang po. Okay. Alrighty, next question. Do we need to make another FB account and IG account aside from our personal accounts? This is a really good question. Thank you so much. There are a lot of freelancers, such as myself, that is not creating business IG accounts anymore. So I don't create, sorry ha, charger ko yun. I don't create a separate IG account. So I have you can actually do so if you really want to, right? My only concern if you're going to create new accounts is they're not going to really see your profile. They're not going to see your, what do you call that? Like you would look like a scammer, bitaw. Like I'm Bisaya and then you would look like a scammer, right? So there will not be there will not be old photos. They will not see your old posts, so it's a little iffy for the client. Be like, oh my god, like this person like legit or something? So it's a little iffy to really do that, but I think you can. I think you still can if you really want to, diba? But for me, I don't really care. So mostly the concern of the people in this area is their friends are going to see their business. Okay, like, oh my god, my high school batchmates and high school friends are going to see what I'm going to do in freelancing and things like that. But really, no one cares. Right? So no, those batchmates of yours who you think cares about what you're doing actually don't. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day, regardless if you're doing a separate business account for IG or FB. It's not really going to matter in the end. Okay, alrighty. So how are we going to know if the client is legit and will really pay you? Asked by Jelly Corillo, I think your last name. So we don't really know if the client is legit or not. We just really create systems that would allow us to be paid well. So what am I talking about? Ask the client to pay a down payment of at least 50% of the total project cost. So for example, you are creating a client logo for $200 or 10K in pesos, you can let them know that before you start the project, you're going to ask for $100 or 50% of the total project cost to protect yourself. And while you are, of course, sending the drafts or the unfinished product or unfinished view or unfinished file of the logo, while just just for the client's sake to like view how to see how the design is going and things like that, you watermark them. Okay, watermark or password protect the project before they send the final payment. So if they already sent the final payment, and that's the only time that you're going to send the high resolution file or send the file that is not being password protected or things like that. Like constrain your clients. Constrain your clients so you can protect yourself. Okay? All right. So there's that. Is freelancing in graphic design a stable job in the long run? Asked by Mika Tinkang. Your last name reminds me of my teacher in college that is super strict. Anyway, why did I say that? Love on! Okay. Is graphic design a stable job in the long run? Of course. You can make systems. You can do retainers. There are so many things that you can do, endless possibilities to make graphic design or to make any freelancing service stable. So any type of service is actually stable. It only matters, what only matters, or what's the gist here really is if you know how to market it. People are always saying like, oh my god, you need to have graphic design skills and you need to have like a really expert skill level so that you can go out there and freelance and earn a lot of money. But really, the secret is if you can market that skill really well, no matter if you're just a beginner, you're going to earn money. So there are a lot of people out there even that are selling courses, and the things that they teach inside the course are super basic, like things that you can actually Google and things like that, but still they're earning a lot of money from it because they know how to market themselves. Same thing with freelancing. That's why I said earlier, you only need to have a basic skill, and if you know how to market that, you can earn money out from it already. You don't need to be super amazing right off the bat, right? So becoming good at the skill will help you, of course. You can charge more if you're way better at it than the rest of the graphic designers or the rest of your fellow whatever skill you're in, right? So you could actually charge high for it, but if you know how to market your skill, right, you can still earn money from it. Right? There are people out there that are super good with graphic design and website design, and they're not really earning that much because they don't know how to market their skill. Same thing with people who knows how to market their skill, but their skill is not super good yet. Okay? So the best skill that you can actually have if you're freelancing is marketing. So that's what I always stress to the mentees, that you don't really need the skill, girl. Like, you just need to know the basics. Even though you're not super good at it, who cares, right? As long as you know how to market it, then you can earn money out from it. Simple. But of course, there are still people who is going to insist that, oh no, you need skills, or oh no, you need this, oh you need to be good in English, or things like that. Like, it's not that. You just really need to you need to know how to market, and then that's the reason why you're earning a lot of money. Diba? Okay. All right. Do you think it's easier to find clients in LinkedIn than Upwork and freelancing sites? Depends. So this would depend on your marketing skill again. So again, if you are not really good at marketing, then of course Upwork is going to work well or better for you. But again, someone else is controlling your freelancing business, okay? But of course, if you are good at marketing, or if you're studying marketing, you don't really need any of these freelancing sites, okay? Just go with me back in the day, I was not able to get any of my profiles approved. I applied. If you're going to Google me, guys, you can see me in Upwork. You can see me in Outsourcely. You can see me in Online Jobs PH. And none of those sites was I able to get clients. 98% of my clients came from what? Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. 2% of them came from referrals. So I just really did a good job to those 98% of people. And then they are they are referring me to their friends and things like that. Okay? Okay. Ang cute ko daw magtagalog. Conscious na nga ako magtagalog kasi matigas ang Tagalog ko, Diyos ko Lord. Okay, what are the best apps for designing? Let's say for social media contents. So, I don't really think there's a best app, but it would actually depend on what you're very comfortable of using. But I love Canva. Like, I am a manic Photoshop user. Okay, so ever since I was 16, I have been using Photoshop. I've been helping my dad in his photography business. But when I saw Canva, I was like, oh my God, like it made everything so easy. But I'm still using Photoshop. There are still a lot of things that you cannot do in Canva, but you can do in Photoshop. So I still love Photoshop, but Canva is amazing. Okay, so that's for creating social media content. All right. When's the opening of the next enrollment? It's April 1 to 4, 2020. Oh, 2020. Okay. Types of freelancing aside from graphic design. Okay, so I'm not going to say the entire list because there's like 100 of them. It really depends on what you are very comfortable, right? So, or what skill you're comfortable of offering. But there are a lot. There's copywriting, digital marketing is one, web designing, bookkeeping, what else? Blockchain, PHP development, app development, web development. What else is there? Blog writing, social media management, Pinterest marketing, Facebook ads marketing, Instagram marketing, PPC, pay-per-click, right? Shopify, store design, Shopify management. There's like a ton. So whatever you see in the internet that you know how to do, you can actually use that as a freelancing service. It really depends on your creativity and again, how you can market that skill. It doesn't matter at the end of the day what skill you're going to have. As long as you know how to market that, you can earn money. How much needed budget to start freelancing or digital marketing as a beginner? So this is from Karen De Jesus. Firstly, if you really want to be like really full-time, full-on freelancing, things like that, you need a good laptop. Because your laptop is your money-making machine. You have to invest on that and can go from anywhere from 15K to 100K. The very first laptop that I have, I bought it from my auntie. I bought it from my auntie for 15K. And I struggled in paying for it. And then it was a Lenovo IdeaPad 100. I can remember very well. And it was, it shuts down every time I start Photoshop. So you don't want that, right? So you don't want that. You have to make sure that if you are doing whatever kind of service you're offering, your laptop should be compatible. Okay, so if you're doing like heavy things like Photoshop, video editing, make sure that your laptop is compatible for that thing, right? So make sure your laptop is not laggy or it's not what do you call this? It doesn't shut down on its own because nakakahiya din sa clients ba? Like if you're having a call with your client, you don't even have a headphone, you don't even have a microphone, you don't even have a good laptop or a good internet connection. So it's a little, it's not very professional. But if you really are going to go full on freelancing, invest in your equipments. Make sure that your computer is doing well, doing fine, and things like that. Because you're not a dabbler. You are a business owner. So you have to make sure that your budget is enough for you to really go on freelancing, right? But to start, for example, you haven't quit your job yet and you want to transition to freelancing. You can start with your mobile phone just by creating social media images through Canva app and then sending it to your clients via email. It would work. right? It would definitely work. But again, it's not very convenient. So make sure you invest in really good equipments. If you really are going to like full on freelancing, like here is Sparta. And this is Sparta pala. This is Sparta. So if you think you're going to go Sparta in freelancing, push na yan ati. Like go to whatever you can so you could have a good laptop and go full time. All right. Okay, so question, how do you feel that you're actually changing lives? That you're actually making an impact to someone's life. So this one is a little heavy of a question. I was actually having an emote moment earlier because there are still times in my life where I like compare myself to others, there are a lot of freelancing gurus out there, and sometimes I still compare myself to others, which doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because right at this moment I have 650 students that actually need my help, and then there are also you guys who would actually wait for me going to go live so I can answer your questions and I can teach you something and things like that. So it's just sometimes also the success that I have right now with all the students and all the money that I'm making from freelancing, like I'm not really emotionally capable of the success that I have. Okay, I'm really like being honest here. I'm trying to be vulnerable to you. So I'm not like emotionally capable of the success that I currently have, and sometimes I still do like petty fights and I'm not owning my greatness, basically. So that was kind of like why I was so emoterang peg earlier this afternoon, because I still feel like, I don't know, I'm still playing small, basically. So I'm not really owning my greatness. But to answer the question, like, how do you feel that you're actually changing lives? It still hasn't sunk in yet. So like what I said, I haven't owned my greatness yet. So with all the success that I have, with all the students that I have, it still hasn't really sunk in that I'm actually helping people, changing people's lives. And before I actually started this live video, someone actually emailed me, or like I actually received a lot of emails that you are my answered prayer, you are my answered prayer, you are my answered prayer. And sometimes I am so scared, like I get scared, because what if, in my head it's like, oh my god, like what if I am not really that person's answered prayer, and that person is already like holding on to me so much, and at the end of the day I can't really help them. So I still have doubts, I still have fears, but it feels good to create something that I'm completely passionate about, and it feels so great to it feels great to actually leave, for example lang, worst case scenario, I die tomorrow, I'm completely okay with it. Like, it's completely fine, because I've already done the things that I wanted to do. Like, I've created something I'm completely passionate about and things like that. So thank you so much for raising that. I'm tearing out. Oh my god. Sure. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for raising that question. It's nice to let it out, especially that I was like very emotional before I started this live video. Okay. There's that. Bawal mag-emote sa live. Oh my god, we're already 1 hour in. Sige. I'll answer a couple more questions now, and then we'll stop this live video already, because it's more than 1 hour and a lot of you haven't gotten your dinner yet. I'm pretty sure I already announced it earlier, like, oh my god, you have to get your dinner before this. So there's that. Okay. Let's see. How much do I offer my services as a beginner? So I have a carousel post in the Facebook page that you can see. It's there in the Facebook page. So just scroll through it later after you watch this live video. You can see there the bracket of how much you should charge as a beginner, intermediate, and expert. Okay? Alrighty. How did you start freelancing? I started freelancing as a book cover designer. So I was actually designing my very own book covers because I wanted to be an author. So I was designing my very own book covers and I wanted to be an author. And while I was designing it, my boyfriend was like, why don't you use that? Or why don't you monetize your skill of creating book covers and make book covers for other people? And I did that. And that's when I started my freelancing career. I found a lot of clients on Facebook groups, mostly because I was in a lot of author groups. Because, aspiring author, kunwari, char, eklabush, chanes. And then later on, I realized that I wasn't really for writing, but it just paved my way into becoming a graphic designer for authors. Okay. All right. Okay. Can I possibly be a freelancer even if I'm not good in English? Yes. It does not matter if you're good in English or not. Everything is developable. Do not compare yourself to me. Okay? So you and me, we are not different. We are all the same. It just so happens that when I was in high school, I was trained to speak like this for speech contests. That's it. Okay? Don't compare yourself to other people that they're good in English or they're smarter or they're better, because that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. If you have the ability to help others, then you can definitely become a freelancer. Okay? All right. So let's cut to the chase. How do you get paid po? Do you use PayPal? Yes, I use PayPal. How to get clients? I have a lot of videos about how to get clients, but mostly you need to build a brand. You become a valuable asset in the community where your ideal client avatar is hanging out. So earlier in this video, I asked you to identify who your ideal client avatar is, or who do you want to serve, right? So I told you about that. And then I also let you identify where are those people hanging out. So then you go to that social media platform, or you go to that place and you start helping people there. And once you start helping people, then you start building authority. So you start building authority and people are going to notice. They're like, oh, Kat is actually really good at this. So maybe she can help me with this one. So people are going to start to notice when you are starting to become more helpful and they see you often. They need to know that you exist. So for them to know that you exist, you build a brand, you put yourself out there, you help other people, those things. Okay? Alrighty. Okay. Oh my God, ang daming questions. Okay, ayan. Okay, so, sending virtual hug, was waiting for you to answer that. Okay, sige. We are going to do this again, okay? If I have not answered your question today, just message us on the Facebook page. Shem and I will be waiting for your questions and we will answer them, okay? So Shem is really good at answering questions and she knows what to do. So if I'm not available, she's there. She can do she can get you sorted out, okay? So don't worry if it's not me who's going to answer. I swear to God, I did not hire Sheila or I did not hire Shem if she does not have the same personality as I am. So don't worry if it's not me who's going to answer. Like Sheila has your back. She's really good at it. So you don't really need to worry if it's Sheila or if it's me. Sometimes it's me if I have the time. I go to our customer service platform and I answer the questions. But if I don't, Sheila's there to get you sorted out. So just ask us anything that you want on the Facebook page. We'll get you sorted out. And tomorrow, I'll also be posting an FAQ page. So I haven't really had the chance to create the entire website yet, but we have an FAQ page and a page full of success stories. Okay, so all the success stories that we have, if you don't think that freelancing is for you or things like that, we have an entire page of just success stories of people who was able to do freelancing from scratch. Okay, so we have an entire page for that too, but just wait for it tomorrow. Okay, so you'll have it there if you still have a lot of questions. Okay, so again, more questions next week. I will not be doing a Q&A. Next week I'll be doing live training. So I'll still be live, but I'll be talking about a very specific lesson on freelancing. But the week after that, we'll be doing live Q&A again. So it's alternate. First week of the month, I'll do a training. So next week after that is Q&A, and then training again, then Q&A. So sandwich basis, diba? So there's that. We're going to do Q&As or Ask Me Anything sessions twice a month, usually second and fourth week of the month. So you can always count on that, right? So just be posted on the Facebook page and we'll get you sorted out. Or just message us, or anything you can do to connect with us. We're here for you guys. Alrighty, so I'll go na because it's already 8:07, and you get your dinner. And make sure that whatever you learned from this live video, you're going to apply the next day. Okay? So whatever you learned here, do not get it stuck here. Okay? Learning is one thing, but applying is another. And applying is usually for the brave souls. If you're scared right now and things like that, it's not going to matter if you already have your success few years from now. So make sure whatever you learn in this live video, don't get it stuck here. Apply it tomorrow right away. This is a command. All right, charlang. Okay, so I really am just making sure that whatever you learn from here, you apply it. Okay? All right, so there's that. I'll see you on the next live video, and I'll see you around on the Facebook page. Alrighty, thank you so much for spending your time with me tonight, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.